Making any professional sports league is no easy task. Being able to say that you have stepped onto the court, field, diamond, or ice in any pro league is an undeniably huge accomplishment, but even so, sometimes even the most skilled athletes get reminded that their opponent is also very skilled at the sport and has the ability to make them look like an amateur in front of their teammates and the fans. So today, we're going to be going over those times when an NBA player makes another NBA player look stupid. Don't go anywhere, because we're going to be going over some pretty insane highlights and some pretty crazy moments in the NBA, and you're not going to want to miss a second of it. Kevin Durant gets put on a poster. KD is obviously one of the best players to ever lace up in the NBA, and he has proven his talent over and over again. But earlier in his career, while he was still playing for the Oklahoma City Thunder, KD was reminded that other people can have their moments of greatness too. And this particular moment of greatness from Derek Favors happened to come at the expense of KD. In a game between Oklahoma City and the Utah Jazz, Durant was guarding the Jazz's big man when Favors got the ball. Favors found that there was no good pass to make and decided to make a push towards the basket, deciding that the best way there was through Durant. Favors drove the ball hard and dunked on Kevin Durant, putting him on a poster for all to see. Favors clearly is nowhere as good as Durant, but man, did Favors make KD look like a fool with that play. But the posters only get more humiliating from here on out, so stay tuned. James Johnson puts Curry on the hardwood. Along with Kevin Durant, Steph Curry has made it very clear that he is one of the best players to ever play in the NBA. Actually, he recently became the best three-point shooter in the history of the league, and I guess that's pretty good, huh? Anyway, at a game between the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Golden State Warriors, James Johnson took an inbound pass from his teammate and began to dribble down court. The play looked innocent until Johnson drove past half court and split the two defenders at the top of the key. Johnson began to rush the open floor until Steph Curry stepped in his way, attempting to draw a charging foul from Johnson. While instead of making contact with Curry, Johnson elected to jump over Steph Curry in order to hammer dunk the ball. Johnson not only almost cleared Curry, but he proceeded to absolutely slam the ball down with two hands, while also sending Curry to the floor like he had just been shot with a beanbag gun. It was one of the more embarrassing moments for Steph, but one of the greatest moments of Johnson's career for sure. John Wall making the entire Boston Celtics organization look silly. In a game between the Washington Wizards and the Boston Celtics, John Wall carried the ball to the top of the key only to be met by two Boston defenders. It looked like he stood no chance, but instead flipped the script on the Celtics. Wall proceeded to drive into the center of the key to draw his defender away, then cross his defender over harder than some hot-crossed buns, then threw a behind-the-back pass to his teammate, who finished the beautiful playoff with an easy wide-open dunk, thanks to Wall opening the lane up prior to the crossover. Not only did Wall's fancy moves result in a bucket for the Wizards, but Wall's foresight to purposefully draw opponents away from the middle lane, ensuring his teammate would have an easy bucket, is honestly insane. It took Wall all of 3 seconds to plan out and execute one of the nicest individual plays I have ever seen. Derrick Rose with the windmill layup. Derrick Rose is one of the most underrated basketball players of all time due to his unfortunate knee problems. Both the severity and frequency of his knee problems kept him from reaching his full potential. But even in his limited time in the NBA, he still had some plays that will blow you away, including one he pulled off in a game against the New York Knicks, in which Rose got the ball at the corner of the three-point line, crossed over not one but two defenders, then drove his way to the hoop, only to essentially coerce a third defender in midair. When Rose went airborne, he completely windmilled the ball in order to confuse his defender, which gave him an easy layup. The entire sequence is just Derrick Rose epitomizing the New York Knicks organization over the past 10 years, and it is incredible to watch. Unless you're a Knicks fan, then pretty much nothing in the NBA is incredible to watch. Kyrie Irving making Steph Curry forget how to defend. Remember the times when Kyrie Irving was on the precipice of being one of the greatest up-and-coming players in the NBA? Not the controversy-ridden has-been that can't seem to make any friends in the league. Well, I do. And this next play is one of the greatest examples I can think of. In a game between the Boston Celtics and the Golden State Warriors, Kyrie finds himself being guarded by Curry. Kyrie tries to fake both ways, but seemingly cannot get Steph to budge enough for a lane to open up, so Kyrie gets creative. Kyrie decides to use every fake in the book, with a step fake, a pump fake, and a crossover fake, all in the same sequence, forcing Steph to respect all three, essentially freezing Curry in place. Kyrie takes the now open lane that Kyrie forced Steph to give him, and takes the open shot from the corner, while Curry and Kevin Durant are forced to watch the ball go in. It's one of the best moves I have seen, and to do it against a player as great as Steph is nothing short of amazing. Go back to doing this, Kyrie. Get vaccinated. James Harden embarrasses the Sixers. It's frankly been a while since any team has feared the beard like they once did, but man, there was a time when Harden would get the ball and essentially spell certain doom for his opponent. An example would be during a game between Harden's Houston Rockets and the Philadelphia 76ers, when the Sixers were still trusting the process. Harden gets the ball off the inbound and takes it down the court where he crosses a defender over, only to put the ball between his legs while at full speed to get around the second defender. After Harden had already made two grown men look stupid, he decides it's not enough, and Euro steps his way around a third defender and straight to the basket for the easy bank in. It was an amazing display of prime Harden, and it is one I hope we see again come playoff time this season. Chris Paul gets the people on their feet. Do you remember when Chris Paul crossed over the entire gym? I'm sure the Milwaukee Bucks organization does, because their entire team was the victim of a mass humiliation from Chris Paul. In a game that saw the Bucks take on the Rockets, Chris Paul sat at the three-point line with the ball. He dangled the ball, then proceeded to take the fake step right, only to dribble and cut hard to the left. His defender bit so hard that he wanted to make sure he didn't fall over, so he decided to run in order to stay on his feet. Well, I'm pretty sure that if the stadium didn't have walls, the man would be running to this day. Additionally, when Paul found himself alone at the three-point line, he waited for what seemed like an eternity, and if there was no shot clock, you guessed it, he would probably still be waiting to this day. But instead of waiting forever, Paul took the shot, and you better believe he banged it in to put the Rockets up by 7 early in the second quarter. This school lesson by Paul never would have made it if he had missed that shot, so I'm glad Paul took what seemed like an eternity to pose up and hit that three. And that's all we have for you guys today on the channel. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Which of the schoolings in today's video was your favorite? Which legendary crossover, dunk, pass, or shot that didn't make the list is your favorite? Let us know about it in the comment section below. We hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please consider leaving a like on the video and subscribing to the channel. It's free to you, only takes a few clicks, and it goes a long way in supporting me and the channel. Thank you all again so much, and we'll see you in the next video.